I am Bulem Mulibati for this week's installment of Stories Untold. This is indeed the home of good news. Thank you for choosing us as your source of information. Today, we are in Moletsane, Soweto, bringing you the story of Musa. Now, Musa has found a positive way to live with kidney failure diseases. He was also very, very fortunate to receive an organ donor. So as we embark in his story today, we ask the question, how do we empower people with information and encourage them to become organ donors? Let's go straight into that story.
Moletsane is a neighborhood located in Soweto, south of Johannesburg in South Africa. The area was originally settled in the 1930s, and its name is believed to have originated from the Sesotho word Muleche, meaning a place of springs. This is where aspiring DJ and entrepreneur Mosa Mphore was born and raised. Musa's whole world changed when he was suddenly diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure, otherwise known as end-stage renal disease, at the age of 22.
I firstly started getting ill at a very young age, but it was just having headaches. So of course, having my grandmother around me all the time, she would say to me, "You know, grandpa." So I would take grandpa most of the time, not knowing what grandpa in a little repercussions, right? But that was not the issue. I'd take the grandpa, I'd be fine. Kanti, I have high blood pressure that is untreated. So from a very young age, probably 15 years old, I would experience these headaches. Kanti, they were just telling me that I have high blood pressure, and it was not controlled. So throughout growing up, when I reached 22, 23, especially when things were starting to get going in my life, you know, I just finished school, I was a DJ, you know, things were just getting going, you know, and then that's when I had kidney failure via high blood pressure.
There has been a dramatic rise in the prevalence of hypertension in young people. Musa didn't have much knowledge about his high blood pressure, thus he ignored it until his symptoms got worse.
I was vomiting, and my skin was quite itchy at that time, and that's because of the kidneys are not functioning. The toxins are too much in the body. So I firstly went to the clinic to check why I was not feeling well or why I was vomiting. When I got to the local clinic, they checked my blood pressure. They found out that my blood pressure was extremely high. It was around 280 at that time. And I remember the nurse told me that I need to, she gave me a letter to go to the hospital immediately. Because I was stubborn then, I was like, I would never go to the hospital. Why must I go there? I mean, I'm young, why should I go there? I can't be sick, you know? And then I remember then my fiance said to me, let's go to a doctor. Let's go check out the GP. Maybe there might be something, you know?
Musa got married at a young age to his high school sweetheart with hopes of starting a family together. His health drastically changed and affected his life.
This was, I think, 2006 until 2011. 2011, everything changed. Musa was just throwing up every day. Nothing could stay down, like not even water. And all of a sudden he was just lacking energy. His body was changing, his face was changing. It was just a horrible thing to watch.
We went to a GP. When we got to a GP, he checked me. I was getting quite sick at that time. Checked me, and then he touched my stomach, and then he thought I had ulcers in the stomach. But then he also wrote me a letter to go to Baragwanath Hospital. And eventually I did go to Baragwanath Hospital. When I got there, now the pain was extremely excruciating in my stomach. And I got there and there was a doctor there, an Indian doctor, checked me, touched my stomach once, and I just cried. It felt like I had bottles in my stomach. I cried. And I didn't know what was happening. Now I got really scared because I was like, what's happening now? This is really painful. This could be serious. And he said to me, I think I know what's the problem. He didn't explain anything, and then he took bloods, and then he went away. And he came back after 15 minutes, and he said to me that he was correct. I have end-stage kidney failure.
At that time, we didn't know what kidney failure was. We thought to ourselves, okay, you're probably going to get a couple of pills, and then you're going to be better. Life is going to be back to normal. But that didn't happen. We went to Bara and he saw a bunch of other physicians, and he got examined again, and what they told him was, you know what, unfortunately, this is end-stage kidney failure, and with an end-stage disease, it means that your life is never going to go back to normal. You're going to go on dialysis, you're going to need a transplant, and yeah, we're sorry to tell you, but your life is not going to be the way you know it. So the news were really devastating, because we had just had our first child, and you know, it was amazingly difficult. Musa was trying to be a dad to this new kid. He was excited about being a dad. He loves his kids, and you know, it was terrible for him to be in hospital for so long. I think he was in hospital for something like 3 months, and he couldn't see us. He couldn't, you know. It was difficult for me as well, because I was like, am I losing my partner?
The kidney failure diagnosis changed everything in my life, you know. It gave me depression, it gave me stress, I became extremely sick. It's something that I didn't know, something that I didn't know of. It was new to me, it was new to my family. And by then, I had lost my grandparents. I've lost my grandfather, I've lost my grandmother. So you can imagine, it's almost like I'm alone. Not alone, but it's like I'm alone and I need to deal with this thing. And I'm still young as well, and I know nothing about it. It gave me a lot of stress and depression. But we dealt with it,
Musa was immediately put on dialysis right after the diagnosis, and this drastically changed his life as he couldn't continue with his dream of becoming a DJ and entrepreneur.
You'll be sitting on that dialysis machine for 4 hours, 3 times a week for the rest of your life if you don't receive a kidney. So that's the life that you live. So you can imagine, like I said, as a young person, now I'm unable to work, and I'm unable to go out, you know. I'm always tired. I'm like extremely sick. My face is changing. I'm swelling, you know. So after a month being on that kind of dialysis, they then told me that I need to be put on a different form of dialysis, which is peritoneal dialysis, which uses water in a form of solution, uses osmosis. So they put a line, it's called a pipe. They put a line in your abdomen, in the stomach, and then you dialyze every 4 hours. But this one you do it daily. At least this one you do it at home instead of at the hospital.
In order for Musa to be well, he needed a transplant. And with transplants, it's a very complicated process. So it requires people to be matching in blood groups and blood types, firstly. And then there's other complex things like tissue typing and all those things. You know, his family came through and they were like, we need to test immediate siblings, and we need to test like people that literally share blood with him. And they started with those, and I was like, hey, take my kidney if you need it. But unfortunately, we were not a match, and he wasn't a match with his siblings either. So we needed to wait for a miracle person out there to just be willing to donate an organ.
This miracle came in a form of a deceased donor, also known as a cadaver donor, who was a match for Musa, and he was rushed to hospital to do the transplant.
I think I woke up the next day, during the day. That's when I woke up, and I was in tubes. You know, it was pain, I was confused, don't know what was happening. And then for the first 3 days, I didn't urinate. And the sign to show that the kidney is working, you urinate immediately. So after 2 weeks, now I was worried. Now they were starting to say to me, we're going to have to start dialyzing you because the toxins are now, because you haven't been dialyzing, you've been in hospital, we're hoping that the kidney would work, but now it's not working. So while I think I dialyzed for a day or two. And the following day when I woke up, I felt some sensation in my bladder. So I then urinated, and immediately after urinating, then I screamed like I went, because we are put in cubicles to prevent infection and all of that. And I opened the door, I called nurse, doctor, I called them all because I was so excited, started working. And then they all came in, they're like, what's wrong? I'm like, no, I urinated, you know. And then they called the big doctors. Everybody came, and then they just started checking, and they're like, okay, the kidney is working. Toxins are now becoming less.
While Musa's health was getting better, he saw an opportunity to establish a foundation that will educate the community about the importance of organ donation. He did this through the help of his longtime friend and DJ, Thabo Bilusa.
He had just recently qeta ukula, and then ona sika to a point where nasa khone ho etsa a lot or to have a normal life, you know. But I was not really there like 24/7 like Msani Akhahe was there. And I think kopanile na haholo or spending nako haholo after a fetsa thola the transplant, and that's when setse a qadile the organization. And because I remember qadile as DJs, and then he got sick, and then they were separated for some reasons until he got back to his feet, and then he had the organization.
We may come from different communities, speak different languages, chase different dreams, but we are all connected. Our banknotes and coins celebrate this connection as we bond as families, support our communities, and boost the economy. The South African Reserve Bank has added new designs celebrating our heritage and upgraded the security features. Your trusted rands with the latest designs or the older ones are worth the same. So go on, use both with confidence. Our money, our pride. The SA Reserve Bank, connecting us. To learn more, download the Soft Currency app or visit our website at resbank.co.za.
One thing that our featured guests have in common is that no matter the challenges that they face in life, they're always pioneers or people that come up with solutions to overcome and become victorious, whatever challenges or circumstances that they face. Now, Musa has opened an Open Eye Foundation, which educates communities about becoming organ donors, but also about how to survive or manage communicable diseases.
As a former renal failure patient, Musa saw it fit to establish an NGO called Open Eye Foundation, which focuses on health education about kidney diseases and organ donation in underprivileged communities in South Africa.
Open Eye Foundation came about immediately after I was diagnosed. So it was the day when I was on dialysis, and I was there with my wife, and we're discussing issues of how is it possible that a young person like me would have end-stage kidney failure? Why didn't I know about it? Why wasn't there anything on TV, radio, or maybe even newspapers? You know, why weren't there people talking about something so big? You know, and for me to find out it's like this, I didn't, you know, it was not nice, you know. So I decided that we'll start an organization, and then with this organization, we'll then go out and educate young people, we'll educate families, we'll educate everyone in the country about organ failure, organ donation, blood donation, and all of that, you know. Try and bring the light to Black people, and that is why we call the organization Open Eye, to open the people's eyes with the information that they never had.
In 2011, he decided he was going to start Open Eye Foundation. And at the time, everybody was like, just rest, just take care of yourself and be well enough to know that, you know, you can save other people later. But he wasn't into that. He just wanted to get down to work as soon as he knew what his diagnosis was and how it led to it. So he started Open Eye Foundation, and he started educating people about high blood pressure and diabetes. And he started telling people that they need to be blood donors, organ donors. Any information that he was getting at that time, he was just sharing with as many people as he possibly could. And, you know, it was a bit tricky because, you know, we didn't know how to go about it, starting an NGO. Eventually, at that time, I quit my job, and I helped him establish Open Eye Foundation. And I was like, you know what, if this is what you want to do, let me help you. Let's just get the word out there. let's save as many people as possible from this terrible thing.
What we do is that we create campaigns. We go out into clinics. We have a campaign called Mabafunda Bantu, where we go out into local clinics where we educate our patients or clients that are at the clinic to collect medication. Remember, I mentioned that high blood pressure, diabetes are the leading illnesses that cause end-stage kidney failure or other issues with kidney. So we go to local clinics, we educate them, we tell them the importance, we teach them from the root, the importance of taking medication. If you already have high blood pressure, the preventative methods for so that they don't fall into the same thing, you know. And then we try and educate them about organ donation to say, hey, if you are healthy, please, if someone passes on in your house, consider organ donation and do say yes to organ donation. We then go around as well and do campaigns around malls and teach people about blood donation and the importance of blood donation as well.
Through his foundation, Musa touched a few lives and inspired hope to the hopeless. He met Tlago Ndlovu and Chester Van Zyl during one of his initiatives, and since then, their lives changed for the better.
We've been to Helen Joseph, which is another hospital that offers dialysis programs. So we've been there, we've done a program there with them, and on the day we were doing a program with them, we met a guy by the name of Karabo. He's on dialysis, and we met the sister on the same day. Her name is Tlago, and on that day we were going to present the fact that we're going to have a walk, and Tlago was like, yeah, well, now I'm going to donate a kidney to my brother. And then we're like, okay, we'd like to have you walk with us on the walk. The way the walk was designed, there was 4 of us who were transplanted. Well, 3 of us were transplanted at that time. And then there was Tlago and one of our sponsors. So we had Chester Van Zyl, who had corneas. He was given corneas because he had an eye infection. And then we had Dr. Fru, who had a liver infection and his liver failed. So he got transplanted a liver. And then it was me who got a kidney. And then we had Goodwill Kwako, who was our sponsor for that, for the event. And then we had Tlago, who was going to donate a kidney. And so she eventually did. She donated a kidney to her brother. And yeah, it was amazing.
Musa, the time I met him, he was a hero to me because he already did his a transplant. So yeah, and then getting to know him, it was nice because then he made other people and myself aware of this transplant, because at first I was skeptical and scared that maybe I might die. Yes, I wanted to do it, but he told me that I'm doing a good thing for my brother, and yeah, he was still gonna live long.
When I met Musa, he actually approached me with the 80-80 walk. We exchanged numbers, and he was like, he needs me on board. He has this drive that he's doing where he wants to raise awareness for organ donations, and he explained me his story that he also went for his transplant, and that's where he put me on board. And when I met Musa, it was like I met a brother.
Entering the foundation, Musa, like I was sure that I'm gonna donate. You know, like it was just making me aware. It was an awareness of how to deal with yourself and how to, like, don't be scared. It was an awareness. It was teaching us actually, like, as Africans, we mustn't be scared to donate.
He's raising awareness. So there's lots of families that is not exposed to these type of things. So it's up to us to take it to them and say, this is organ donation. This is the benefits. By you helping someone, by you giving your organs, you're helping someone like myself. If someone didn't give me a cornea, I was going to be blind today. So by someone helping, by someone donating to me their organs, I can see.
He's a hard worker. Well, I would say he's the face here, the organization. Remember, now I do the behind the works. Here I do the activations, the talking. So he's more batho. Here na abuang le batho, you know. Here na encourage batho. So he's a people's person, you know. Here na motho lo reng he does the activations, you know, the speeches, you know, so he's a simple person, like fun. It's always vibe working with him.
We do taxi rank initiatives where we go to different forms of taxi rank and we test taxi drivers. We go there with a bunch of nurses. We check blood pressure, we check diabetes, we check HIV, we check all these other illnesses that might affect taxi drivers. Remember, these guys sit, they work from 3 in the morning until late at night, and we wanted to ensure that they are healthy because mostly we see especially taxi with kidney failure, and also they don't have time to go and get checked. So the entire point for this initiative was to ensure that we get them checked out. It's mind-boggling, this organ donation thing or this kidney failure thing. I mean, they have to, like some people, families come forward, they want to donate, like they really want to help their brother and sister, but you find out they don't match that person. Then that person has to be on the list for a very long time. Some people even die while waiting because there are now complications that go in with this kidney failure thing. So as an organization, if people came forward, if people said, yeah, we would like to help, we would like to donate, it would be great. A lot of people's lives would be saved. Yeah.
What I wish for Musa is happiness. That's all I wish for him. I wish him a long life if God permits. I wish him good health because I see him suffer every day just to do the most minimalist of things that we take for granted to do. And what I'd like for the organization is I would like it to reach as many people as possible. I wanted to go into all the provinces. I wanted to educate all the people in the clinics that they need to take care of the illnesses that they currently have so that they don't lead to organ damage and them having to need a transplant.
Akhule Musa, and what he's doing is very good. It's the best. Yeah, and he's still young, but he's doing a big difference in other people's lives.
My wishes for Musa is that the awareness takes flight not only locally but internationally, and Musa himself is that he looks after himself and he keeps doing the good work. He mustn't grow weary in doing good, and yeah, I wish him nothing but the best for the Open Eye Foundation.
More strength and life for him, and so that we carry on the work of saving people.
The foundation is planning big things, all right? So we want to see ourselves in each and every clinic. That's what we want to do in the country. We want to go out and teach people about organ donation. We want to be in every mall, you know, we want to be in every billboard. I mean, we want to do big things. We want our people to understand the importance of blood donation. I think this is something that we don't touch on quite a lot. We have people in hospital with different illnesses, and some of them just need blood to survive. It's quite important that people understand. And for me, donating blood is the most simplest, easiest thing. I understand people are afraid of needles because that's what they say, but we need to conscientize our people to understand that this is more than just saving another person's life, you know. Do donate blood, do donate organs. Yes, we need them, but mostly donate blood. It's important.
And just like that, we have reached the end of our show today. We are back here, same time, same place. We'd like to encourage you to take part of the Good Africa movement. Talk to us, let us feature you on this show. Without you, there is definitely no us. Until next week, goodbye.